Hello, my name is Edward Haro, and my project today was based on effective decision making and more so how your ability to make effective decisions or the good or the right decision in certain situations changes as you get older. Does it get better? Does it get worse? Or does it stay the same? The two articles I used for this were by Bruin de Bruin and Wadi et al. Sorry if I don't remember all the authors. Called Explaining Adult Age Differences in Decision Making Competence, published in the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making in 2010. And the second article I used was by Renato Frey, Ray Mata, and Ralph Hertwig, called The Role of Cognitive Abilities in Decisions from Experience. Age differences emerge as a function of choice set size, published in Cognition, Y142 in 2015. If you want to pause and take a look at these sources right here, sorry I'm not that good at video editing, so I have to do it like this, then you can. And the first article is really, really important to this. Actually, both were, because essentially they did the same thing. They tested your ability to make effective decisions or certain decisions based off of your age, but they did it in a way that I hadn't thought of, was because I didn't know that a lot of your decision making, a lot of your problem solving comes from your fluid cognitive ability or your fluid cognition, which is the ability to think, reason, or solve abstractly, or to analyze things differently. So basically, the more fluid cognitive ability you have, the better you are able to think analytically, and to think or reason in a more abstract manner to solve difficult problems. So say that that's why younger people are able to learn computers a lot better than older people, because older people have less fluid cognitive ability, and learning computers is something that unless you already have experience with it from when you're younger, then an older person is going to have a harder time learning what computers are and how they work, or how to use the internet. And these articles are really important because what they did was they compared the ability of older and younger people to make effective decisions, or to make the right decision in situations where these problems, these answers require you to use more, or to tap in more into your fluid cognitive ability, as opposed to, say, more experience or really just normal everyday problems. So they tested. So in the first article by Bruin and Bruin, they tested risk assessment. They tested framing problems, framing issues. Say you're 20% likely to die in this car crash, or you're 80% likely to survive in this car crash, or say, like, the salmon's 80% meat and 20% fat, right? So one's framed in a negative manner, one's framed in a positive manner. And also tested problems that I apologize. Let me read off my list here. Problems that required less use of your fluid cognitive ability, so more of your crystallized intelligence, so just like everyday intelligence, right? And these problems were recognizing social norms, risk perception, and resistance to sunk costs, right? So what this study showed was that these problems that required more of your fluid cognitive ability, right, applying decision rules and resistance to framing problems, that those problems, they're going to decrease with age. Your ability to solve problems like that are going to decrease with age, because your fluid cognitive ability will decrease, and that's what you need more of to be able to solve those problems more effectively. But risk perception, resistance to sunk costs, which is recognizing and abandoning something when it is no longer profitable, right? This is a definition I got. And recognizing social norms, that those don't decrease. In fact, they usually stay the same, or even they may increase, because those don't tap into your fluid cognitive ability. Now, the second article also conducted studies to test the abilities of younger people versus older people in decision making, and they found the same thing. They found that younger people did better on tasks that relied more heavily on fluid cognitive ability, like episodic memory performance and working memory capacitance. So say your ability to hold and retain information when it's presented to you like fast. So say, can you memorize these 15 words in a 10-second time span? That's just an example, by the way. And what this study primarily found was that age difference in decision making only becomes clear when the decision is more demanding on your fluid cognitive ability, just like the other study did, as opposed to more simple tasks, so more everyday tasks. So, for example, like when an older person and a younger person are provided with a bunch of decisions that they need to make, a bunch of options, the younger person's probably going to look at those more analytically, and they're going to go through them more. But an older person, they're gonna take the heuristic way out. They're going to take like an easier route, so they might end up with a decision that's not the best one they could make. However, when it's presented very clearly that one is better than the other, then younger and older people are always going to choose the one that has the highest reward. So in the end, your cognitive abilities, they do decline with your age, but really this won't really affect your decision making in everyday situations. So when I'm 70, I might not be able to learn the newest technologies as good, but I'll probably be able to walk around the street and interact with people just as well as anyone else. And perhaps I might be the old guy that people come to in movies to ask for advice because of my experience. I just went a little bit over time, but thank you very much for listening. My name is Edward Haro, and maybe have a good night.